Hi there, Mark and Paul. Just in case my window of between 10:30 and 12 doesn't work for you guys, I thought what I'd do is do a quick screen video of how I use the pivot table. Right now, I've used it in other ways, but this is the way I normally use it for this particular uh, data that I work with. As I mentioned, I have to track all of our training efforts, and so I have this monster spreadsheet that's 150 columns long times normally around 300 plus employees. This particular example is a little less than that because it's just an example. So I thought what I would do is walk you through how I set up my pivot table and a few ideas on how to use that. So the first thing I want to do is click inside the data that I want to be represented in that pivot table. And then I go to Insert and I click on Pivot Table. Now because I'm in that data, it's going to select all of the data, and that's what I want. I use all the data, and then I slice it down and break it up from there. And all I have to do from this point is click OK. Now I have it set up to use a new worksheet to create the pivot table. And then I click OK. Now I'm ready to set up the pivot table. Normally when you set the pivot table up, it's kind of embedded over here, something like this. But I like to pull it out so that I have more room to work with while I'm setting it up. So all you do is just look for your crosshairs and then pull that over from the embedded point. So you go to the gray toolbar, look for the crosshairs, and then just yank it out. So first of all, I use my separators first. I don't know exactly what to call them, but the things that I want to filter my data by for the people who want to see it. So first of all, I'm going to click on supervisor, which for me, that's district managers. And I'm going to move that up to the report filter space because I'm going to end up filtering this data for people who want to see it. And the first person who usually asks for it is the supervisor. Then they want to know the people in their group. So the first and last name of the people, the home department, and then I have another geographical setting called locations. And then I'm just going to move those all right up to the report filter area because those are the people I want to provide this information to about the people who are taking the information. In this case, it's the training modules that I produce and publish, and where they're at. So kind of all the filter information: who, what, where. Um, that's that's what I put up in the report filter. And then it's time to bring the data over. The data are the numbers, the measurable information that you want to then filter. So who are you filtering it for? Where are those people? And now what are you filtering? So these are the training modules that are on our online training site. So now for some reason it defaults to the label rows and it doesn't look very nice. So what I do is I move it over to the values. The way I think of it is this is the measurement of the information that people are going to be asking for about the who and where. And now I want my columns, I don't want it to be columns, I want it to be rows. So I want this information to show in rows. It's just easier. It looks better to me. Now I wish I could set that up so it would all flow over here, but I haven't figured that out so far. But it's not easy to move. It's not hard to move, rather. It is easy to move. So as I check these points of data, now this is the numbers, so to speak. This comes down, and I just move it over to the value area. And as I said, I have a lot of these, so I'm going to pause this video. But just to give you an idea, if I don't move those over, it starts to look pretty funky. So I'm just going to move them over as I go. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to pause the video so you don't have to watch me doing this to, 100 and some odd modules, and then you'll see the finished product. Okay, so on pause, and I've got quite a bit of data in my table. I've left a couple things here because I wanted to show you, you can, instead of dragging it, you can also click on this little arrow and say move to values. Actually, you don't need to go over to the arrow. You can just get on the field um, or the data you want to move and say, I want to move to values. So now I didn't go through and check everything because the training modules that we have are just growing all the time. So, but I think I have enough data to make some examples here. So now I've got all these rows of data from my spreadsheet that I have broken down by the value of the particular training module. Before I get into that, I wanted to show you one more thing that you can do over here that I will sometimes arrange. You can arrange these pods or these boxes to show in different ways that you might like better. So just wanted you to know it's there. The thing that you lose is this is the data, so I usually keep it the way it comes out of the pivot table setup by default. Now what I'm going to do is move this back over to the nested area, and now I'm going to demonstrate, give you an example how someone would ask for data. So if a particular district manager or supervisor calls me and say, I want to see the data for this training program, I want to see who's viewed the training material. So I can go to a particular district manager and select that person. Now the report is filtered by that particular person's area of responsibility. Now I can actually go to a particular department or location within that person's area. I know this district manager has this location that he manages, and now it filters it by that particular group. So it becomes an easy way to show a scorecard for people who want to have data that's broken down, and I don't have to send out this huge spreadsheet of rows and rows and columns of data that I've been collecting over the last couple of years. And so that's how I use a spreadsheet in conjunction with a pivot table. I hope this has been helpful. Give me a call if you still need help. If you want to go through it, like I said, I'd be happy to help and share what I do know and how I do use Microsoft Excel. Okay, guys? Well, again, I hope this has been helpful, and we'll see you very soon. Bye now.